Good morning, afternoon, or evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mikhail, and welcome back to yet another Misfits Racing League broadcast. We just had a very wet and very eventful Tier 3 race a few hours ago, and now it is time for the Americas division to take to the Temple of Speed. It is, of course, Monza for the 15th round of the MRL Season 4 Championship. And joining me, as always, my fellow countryman, Stars. Stars, how are you feeling ahead of this what should be a very entertaining race?
Macau, the Temple of Speed, my friend. It's one of my favorite tracks. I know it's certainly up there for a lot of people, mate. I am looking forward to it. The drivers are stoked for this one. It's a very quick circuit, as we do know, and should be a blinder.
Yes, the circuit now on your screens, ladies and gentlemen. 5.79 kilometers, 11 turns, and 11 very fast and very tricky turns as well. There isn't a lot of them. It looks fairly simple from the layout there on your screens, but Stars driving the track and trying to drive it at speed is anything but.
You're exactly right, Macau. To be able to hit all those corners as quickly as you physically can, it is very tricky, especially to not invalidate. I dare say we're going to be seeing a lot of invalidations this evening.
Yes, definitely a possibility both in qualifying and the race. The calendar on your screens. Once again, a massive shout out to our partners, Next Level Racing. If you're looking to take your sim racing experience to the next level, exclamation mark NLR in the chat to check out their range of sim rigs, motion sims, you name it, they've got it. So exclamation mark NLR, and we thank them for supporting us grow the sim racing community. So we've already been to Australia, Bahrain, Vietnam, China, the Netherlands, Spain, Monaco, Azerbaijan, Canada, France, Austria, Britain, Hungary, and of course Belgium last week. And now we are here for round number 15 around Monza to end off the European season. And then we head back to Asia for Singapore next week. That one should be very exciting. Then Russia for round number 17, and then back to Japan, and then we go to the Americas for the final leg of the season with USA, Mexico, Brazil, and then rounding things off in about 2 months' time at Abu Dhabi. And just before we get things going, we'll just have a quick look at the current driver standings. So currently, Becky B is still holding a solid lead in the championship with 227 points. A whole, 80 points ahead of his teammate, Alex Yamamoto, who rounds off the top two. And then BTFU with 106 points, that's 41 points behind Yama. So the Williams guys looking very strong at the moment. But if the recent races are any indication that form might be slipping a little bit, we'll have to see how those two bounce back after a few tough races. CJOS currently sitting in that fourth place with 102 points, only 4 points between him and BTFU, so be sure to look out for those two on the track this evening. Zamis in fifth place with 73 points, Angel in sixth with 65, 20 points ahead of Karma in that Haas car with 45, who's 1 point ahead of Cosquito, who is driving for Renault. So again, another rivalry to have a look at. Maxime B with 34 points, 10 points behind Cosquito in ninth place, and then Visha with 27 points rounds off the top 10. Holtzman with the 25 points that he got at Hungary for his shock win is in 11th, 2 points ahead of Tomahawk TV, who's in 12th with 23. Vizimon for Red Bull with 21 points. Gabox in 14th for Alfa Romeo. And then Max Senna, the other Red Bull car, with 14 points. Chiri with 11 points there in 16th. Twinkie with 17th with 8 points. And then we have the two Canadians, Strifium and Gorzieg, with 6 points and 1 point respectively. And we have the new driver, Guiza. I hope I'm saying that right. Taking Rhapsody's seat in Mercedes. I do believe with that, Stars, we are almost ready to get things underway.
We nearly are, sir. Last couple of drives just coming into the lobby. We did have a couple of Steam disconnect issues just as we were preparing to get things underway. But yes, you did say we are nearly ready. I believe it's the Autodromo Nazarlia Monza today, as Strifium was hoping I would give that a crack. I don't know if I've done it well. Probably butchered the pronunciation, but like you said, 11 turns, Mikhail. 5.793 kilometers, 3.6 miles. This is, ladies and gentlemen, some stats for you. This is the ninth variation to this circuit currently. Obviously, we know the a couple of famous corners. Obviously, Ascari. Obviously, in respect to Alberto Ascari, who unfortunately passed in testing in 1955. So obviously the drivers, it's a very, very quick part of the track there. We do see a lot of overtaking maneuvers going into it, sometimes out of it if the drivers can get a good run. So I do expect to see some good racing this evening. Fastest laps at the moment in the MRL, we might be able to see that broken today. It was actually set in last season's MRL by the Oceanic driver Revo of a 117.434. So I know that obviously we've got some quick drivers like Becky B has proven week in, week out, hasn't he, Mikhail, how strong he is in the qualifying sessions.
Yes, he certainly has. Becky B, however, unfortunately, in the races, struggling just a little bit as of late. But yes, he certainly does have that raw speed, and we might see him get pretty close to that record. That is a very, very fast time set by the former Alpha Esports driver, or the reserve driver, development driver, whatever you want to call it. So it's certainly no easy task. I believe he actually still holds the record for Hungary, as I don't believe anyone was able to beat that blistering time. But we'll always wait and see. As the famous Michael Schumacher once said, records are there to be broken, and
Exactly
yeah,
right.
we'll hope to see them broken very, very soon. But
Mm,
starts as a driver, Monza. It's one where overtaking can be quite challenging just due to the DRS trains. We've seen it time and time again at other circuits, but at Monza especially, if these drivers are really going to have to play around that 1 second, because once you lose that DRS, it's basically is it either cost you a whole lot of resources, or you're just not going to have the raw speed to catch back up. So how do you deal with that as a driver?
you're exactly right there, Mikhail. DRS train round here is huge. Obviously, you don't want to lose that because you'll be in no man's land, unfortunately. As we are just loading into the lobby at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what it's like in Sydney for you at the moment, Mikhail. It's raining in Brisbane at the moment. We did see a full wet weather race in Tier 3 today, so it'll be interesting to see as we load in if it's going to be dry or wet. But yeah, to basically stay within those cars, Macau. It's realistically like traction zones. That's what I found in my racing. Obviously, coming out of turn two, coming out of turn five, you want to be able to hit your traction zones as perfect as you physically can because that's gonna really like in that point where you lose traction, like you lose the rear end, whatever it may be, that could be 2 3 tenths. By the time you go through the corner, it might be a bit of a late braking, and all of a sudden you're 6 tenths down. You come towards the DRS zone, and you might just be holding on, and then you'll miss out for the next one. It's just hitting everything exactly perfect because it's an easy circuit, but a very very hard circuit to continue doing well. But I mean, I'm sure the drivers know how to handle it. I mean, at the end of the day, they're here. They've gotten their full-time drives, but have been told in terms of weather it will be dry.
Okay, so no weather shenanigans to speak of. There are a few clouds here at the Temple of Speed for the Americas race, and Angel will be the first car out there on the track. That lovely pink BWT sponsored racing point. And we'll just go through the drivers who are actually here on the grid today. So, Gorzieg for Mercedes, currently first on the timing tower. Then we have, I believe that's the reserve of Gabizem for Red Bull. He'll be filling in for, well, looks like actually both Red Bulls are missing today, unfortunately. But, yeah, so we have Gabizem, or I'm just going to probably say just Gabby, for the broadcast. He's in the Red Bull. Angel, who we're currently looking at right now in that racing point. First car out there on the track. Then we have the championship leader, Becky B, in that Williams that he knows and loves. And B-Man filling in the other Red Bull seat. Captain Minor there in the McLaren, filling in for Maxine B in that McLaren. Currently 6 on the timing tower. Then we have Tom Hawk in the second racing point car, BTFU in that Alpha Tauri, then Joss in McLaren, Zamis in that Ferrari, then Yama in the Williams. Twinkie in 12th for Renault. Cheery in the Haas. Fitted the medium tyres thus far. Cascuto for Renault. Then we have some idiot back again in the Haas. Again, very, very fast driver. We'll see how he does against Becky B. And we have Paola. She's filling in for that Alpha Tauri. And Holtz for Alfa Romeo. Guiza in the Mercedes. Gabox for Alfa Romeo. And then Striffium, 20th on this timing tail. We're now riding on board with Angel as he makes his way through the Curva Grande. Stars, take us through the rest of this lap around the Temple of Speed.
Certainly, Mikhail, as he comes into turn number 4 here. Tricky braking zone through the left and right into turn number 5 there. Did do a really clean sector 1 as he comes into the first Lesmo. Doesn't use all of that curb which is available for the drivers today. Obviously just wanting to put a banker on the board there. Goes through the second Lesmo DRS wide open as he makes his way all the way down. Like I said, it's a famous Ascari chicane. You can see the cars get up to about 340 kilometers an hour here. You want to be riding as much curb as you physically can so the car can go straight as it can through the trickiest part of the lap there. Does do a pretty decent job, obviously quite reserved. Angel is a very quick driver though, experienced, so he knows what he's doing. All the way down, just past the 50-meter board there into the braking zone of Parabolica. Take the car nice and wide and then bring it right back in. So you've got the shortest run to the line here. Our first flying lap is a 1:18.7 here, Mikhail, so blistering first time there by Angel. Or Angel.
Yes, Angel, very, very fast time there. Cascuto coming across the line with a 19.5, and then Guiza on his MRL debut comes across with a 1:18.512 to set the fastest lap so far in this session. Becky B does it 4/10 better with a 1:18.17. Yama, his teammate, currently sitting in third with a 1:18.549. So we see him take, well, sort of take the escape road. Just trying to get out of the way of some of the other drivers. We are currently riding on board with the other new driver, Gabby, filling in for that Red Bull. He's making his way through the Ascari chicane. And it looks like these drivers are not really using that much curbing at turn 10, which is the final left-hand part of the Ascari chicane. So definitely a little bit of time left on the table for all of these drivers, but I think they're all just trying to get those banker times in as the timing tower keeps filling in with those banker times. But we'll see what the Red Bull is able to do as he comes across the line. It's P7 for the Red Bull Reserve, the Pirate, with a 1:18.884, only 5 milliseconds away from BTFU in 6th.
Yeah, like you said, these times are starting to fill in here quick, Mikhail. We've got some idiot who's just doing multiple laps again and invalidating as he did last week. He'll probably be starting from the rear of the grid. No surprises there, as we do have a couple more drivers who are setting times. I think the next one in line, is it B-Man coming through the first Lesmo?
I'm not entirely sure. There is one of the racing points. I do believe that Tomahawk might be flying again. No, he's not. So I do believe, no, B-Man has turned off his ERS. And it was Holtz before. I believe that's a Ferrari. That might be Zamis, but I do believe Zamis is on an in-lap.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, most of the drivers now are coming back on the in-laps. I don't think many drivers are going to be doing more than 2 runs on the tyres. Apart from obviously some idiot like previously mentioned here. So B-Man obviously not happy with his first couple of sectors. Obviously he's coming 1:18 mark already and he's about 400 meters away from the line, but he may be starting another run. No, he isn't by the looks of it.
Yeah, lots of drivers heading into the pit lane. We're just looking at Holtz as he actually invalidated at the Rogia chicane, turns 4 and 5. I do believe we have an Alpha Tauri coming across now. I think Paula, she might be doing multiple laps on these set of soft stars, and she's just making her way through the Red Affiliate chicane into the Curva Grande now. So let's ride on board with the Alpha Tauri Reserve, and I think she's actually just backed out of it. So we can't seem to catch a break.
We can't as all. I do know that Gabox is preparing for his first flying lap of the session there. Once he obviously wanted a bit more clean air. Do have a couple of drivers who are coming on the in-laps at the moment. But yeah, I believe it is Gabox who will be our next flying lap contender, who is going to set the 1 run on the tyres.
Well, as Gearbox is starting us up, I just want to give a massive shout out to not only our partners Next Level Racing, but the event that is going to be going on with them in partnership. So exclamation mark event in the chat, and we're going to have a great event planned for all of you guys. The Misfits Grand Championship featuring a prize pool. So I do believe, from memory, it's $100 US to the winner, $50 US to second place, and $25 US to third. And it is quite the championship, and all of you lovely viewers will have the chance to win a Next Level Racing rig. I do believe it is the GT Light rig. I don't exactly remember the full name of it, but it is certainly a very nice prize to get your hands on if you do happen to win that. So exclamation mark event if you're interested in signing up, and be sure to join the Discord for more details on that and more details on the giveaway of the GT Light Racing rig will be announced later on as we get closer to the event. But Stars, how is Gabox looking on his first flying lap?
Oh, I think Gearbox is doing quite well actually. He's using all of the track available at his disposal this evening. It did go through the Ascari chicane quite nicely, and like you can see right now on your screens, he is holding it right to the edge of the inside of the track there, and actually goes into P8 to 119 flat. So as a banker, I mean that's pretty decent. He's beating the likes of Zambis up there as well, so should be pretty happy with that one. Come in now, put some tyres on, and go again.
Currently looking at Twinkie in that Renault car as he makes his way around the first Lesmo using the curb at the exit. Again, trying to open up the corners as much as he can. Misses the apex slightly for the second Lesmo, but it doesn't seem to cost him too much. We'll see what the split is coming through into the final sector of the lap. Purple middle sector apparently, and it looks pretty clean. He uses the curb there at turn 10, keeps it nice and stable, which I know from experience can be quite hard to do if you hit that the wrong way.
Yeah, just letting you know, Williams boys did a toe there for Yama. He's about to cross the line.
Yama coming across, he improves by a tenth and a bit, and now he's going to return the favour to his teammate, so he might ride on board with the championship leader as he goes steaming down into turn 1. But the toe doesn't phase him. He doesn't miss the apex of the first corner. Gets a very nice exit out of the Red Affiliate chicane through Curva Grande, keeping it tight to the right-hand side. And we'll see how much he's up by. He's up by just over a tenth. So really attacking at this second chicane, the Rogier chicane. It looks pretty good so far. Using the curb there. Maybe could use a little bit more. But it looks pretty clean and pretty fast. This might not, I mean, I'm not sure. The toe didn't really do as much as I was expecting it to, but we'll see what the split is coming through the middle sector, and he's actually lost time. He's lost about 200 of a second, and then he's had a scruffy run through Ascari. You could see the back end just stepping out just a little bit there. But we'll see what the championship leader is able to do. He's proven us wrong before. He needs a pretty decent Parabolica. Looks pretty good, but is it going to be good enough? No, I don't think so, as he's just gone straight back into the pit lane.
Yeah, he wasn't happy with that run, obviously, through the Ascari chicane. They're obviously very slidey, so unfortunately the toe didn't work out in his favour at all. But look at this, it looks like a pretty empty track at the moment, only a couple drivers out.
Sherry, one of the drivers who is currently out, just behind his teammate for this event, comes across the line to set a 1 minute 19.168. That would have been 10th. His teammate there, some idiot, just letting him through. So he actually might be going again. He's got the ERS pumped up. So we'll see what's happening. But we have to jump on board with the Ferrari Stars. It's Monza. Come on, we have to do it. Azabis going through the final corner. Is he going to continue this lap, or is he backed out of it?
He was on him for a lap, but yeah, obviously he's backed out of it there. Big corner cut coming into the pit lane. Obviously it's qualifying, but still, got to point that out.
Casquito, the race winner at Silverstone, coming across the line to start his next flying lap. Into turn 1 he goes, and well, he's cut all of it, Stars. He's cut absolutely all of that curbing, and that's going to discount that lap almost immediately. You don't want to be doing that too many times.
No, you definitely don't. I think he's going to be quite disappointed about that one. Just trying to see who's on for our next run through. Striffium hasn't come out of the pits yet, so it looks like he's just going to be doing the one-shot today. I was chatting to him early in the week there. This is his time to turn around. Obviously, he had been very unfortunate in the last couple of races here, so hopefully he can smash his one-shot qualifying attempt.
Well, Gabox, the Alfa Romeo, now next across the line to start a flying lap. 5.5 minutes remaining in the session, so there's still a little bit of time, but it's certainly getting to that point, Stars, where you have to maybe start considering just preparing yourself for that final run. Gabox has a pretty decent first chicane. We'll see if he's up at all going through the first sector split, and he's up by 0.02 of a second, so very, very small margins for these Americas drivers. Takes it nice and safe through the Roger chicane now. The first of the two Lesmo's 6th gear understeers a little bit wide, it goes a little bit into the grass. That car just looks very, very safe, very, very stable, and you can't really seem to find the turning that he's looking for, Stars.
He can't. He did pick up a bit of a toe by Striffium. I don't know if that's going to affect the lateral G-force of 3.3 kilometers, G-force I should say, as he comes through the Ascari chicane. Gets very slidey on exit and actually invalidates, so that run is done and dusted. He'll be coming back into the pits, but it is Striffium who's preparing his first and probably only lap of the session, Mikhail.
Yeah, we'll actually ride on board this a little bit with his Canadian rival. I am talking, of course, about the Raccoon. It is Gorzieg, as he makes his way through the Parabolica to set his first flying lap attempt in the session. What's the time going to be for the Mercedes? It's a 1 minute 20.255, 300ths of power. But unfortunately, I do believe he's the slowest of the serious lap setters. D-Man, 2 seconds off. And well, we'll see how he goes. Actually, we won't, because he's crashed on the main straight. Wow, that is not something you see every day.
No, you don't at all, unfortunately. Something must have happened to him. Unfortunately, Striffium actually cut turn 1 as well, by the way, so he's backed out of his lap. Hopefully he's got enough fuel to be able to get round for another run.
Well, maybe Becky might let him through. Looks like the Williams might be trying to set up a toe again, as Yama's currently on a flying lap going through the second Lesmo. And apparently he's got a purple Sector 1. The very, very tight margins here, once again, in the Americas division. Becky B are only on pole by about half a tenth. So we'll see how it does. And Yama, a 10th up going through, but he's missed the first part of Ascari. That's going to compromise him a little bit, but he's able to recover well. Striffium getting onto the left-hand side. Becky B letting his teammate through. Let's see how well Yama, the Mexican, takes Parabolica. Williams, guys, looking very, very strong once again today, Stars. And up through the gears, 8th gear now, across the line. What's the time going to be? It's going to be enough for P2, but not enough for pole position. And he beats out Giza by 1/100th of a second.
He certainly does. Obviously now Becky B's starting his last run. Also Striffium as well, coming into turn number 1 and turn number 2 here. He doesn't invalidate this time, but both drivers on their final runs now as they both making the way through the curve of Grande, Mikhail.
Riding on board briefly with the Ferrari driver. He absolutely loves this circuit. Probably one of the biggest Ferrari fans I've actually ever seen. And he's always got a bit squirrely out of the Roger chicane, but you can see that fuel light is on and he's only got 2 minutes left, so he's going to need to complete this lap. This is going to be the only attempt that he has. He's already stuffed up the first one, so he definitely needs to get a grip through this.
Might even be able to get a toe, Mikhail, from Becky B, because Becky B's invalidated.
Yes, he might actually be able to. We'll see what he's able to do. Keeps it nice and safe. He's a little bit too far back to really get any kind of slipstream. But he is getting very, very close to that grass on the left-hand side, trying to open up Parabolica as much as he can. On the power, full throttle once again he goes. What's the time going to be? Becky B pulling into the pits, so he will not be improving in this session. And it is P14 for the Ferrari driver. Beats out his teammate, actually. which is quite a rare sight to see. We'll see what Zamis is able to do. He's currently on a flying lap of his own. And he might actually be, he's way up on his time there. 9/10, almost a second on the other Ferrari car, but a great lap from Striffian nonetheless.
Yeah, 100% there. It's put himself in there. God, the Tomahawk in the middle of the track there looks pretty scary. Both of Racing Points have actually spun on their out laps as well, preparing their cars for the last run. But as we can see, Zamis has actually sounded like on my screen he backed out of it, but still he's improved by 1.1 seconds. He's gone into P number 6 with a 1:18.5.
All these drivers now on their final runs. We haven't seen too much of the McLarens. Looks like Captain Minor on an in-lap currently. Sejos in the other McLaren car, the full-time McLaren car, coming across the line. I do believe he's actually rocking the number 14, so Fernando Alonso style. Nope, I'm one off, it's 15. But he gets quite unsettled through the Rettifilio chicane, taking a little bit too much of, well, taking that first part of the curbing a little bit incorrectly as the checkered flag drops. So we'll have to keep an eye on how Sejos does, if he's able to find the 2/10 that he needs to jump. Well, to jump Yama now, as it looks like Giza on his debut, a 1:18.0 will be on provisional pole. Looks like Gabby going into the pit lane won't be improving. Casquito, what can he do as he comes across the line? It's P7 for the Argentinian. A 1:18.746.
ETFU's just coming around. Parabolica at the moment. He needs to do something qualifying. He's had some bad runs, and it's P number 5 there by the Alpha Tower. I can't talk, Mikau. Take over, please.
Yeah, the Alpha Tauri getting himself into a very nice starting position. And it looks like Sejos comes across the line. He improves, but just not enough to jump Yama. He is 4 milliseconds off. Oh, that's unfortunate. That is a very unfortunate. But Gorzieg in the Mercedes coming across the line now. Does he improve on his time? No, he doesn't. He will stay in 18th place. And I do believe that is our qualifying session over. So Giza taking away that pole position from the championship leader. But also we'll have to see how he does off the start. Becky B might have a little bit more trouble to try and get back in the winning form. He still has a very healthy lead, and he is ahead of all of his rivals in that championship fight. But yeah, he hasn't been on that top step for quite a while now, Stars. Might have lost Stars. We'll have a look to see how things are going. Oh, you know, he's just taking a little bit of a break. So, it is Giza, the Brazilian for Mercedes, filling in for Rhapsody, or replacing Rhapsody, in that pole position with 1:18.029, a whole 1.5 tenths faster than Becky B, who will line up alongside him in the Williams. Yama and Sejos will round out the second row, and then BTFU and Arnhel on the third row for AlphaTauri and Racing Point, respectively. Zamis for Ferrari in that 7th place. Casquito in the Renault, the Argentinian, in 8th. Gabi in 9th, the other Brazilian for Red Bull. He will be on the 9th slot, and Tom Hawk will round out the top 10. All of them qualifying on the softs, and we will go through the rest of this grid on the formation lap. But it looks like it's shaping up to be a really interesting race. A lot of really close gaps, and a very strong Brazilian Mercedes taking over another strong Brazilian Mercedes. Puts it on pole position in his first ever race, so he is definitely not screwing around, A-Stars.
No, he isn't. Just kind of like Karma. When Karma first came in, I believe it was either pole or, second or third. I think that was around Canada. Unfortunately, Karma's not in here today. But yeah, the Brazilians having a bit of a showing. Obviously, we've got the reserve driver filling in for Max Senna today in the Red Bulls as well. So Brazilians out in form.
Yes, they certainly are. Have had a lot of Brazilian sign-ups as of late, and they all have a fair bit of speed. So we'll see how the regular drivers, or at least the drivers who have been here from the start of the season, adapt to it. But as these guys go on their formation lap, preparing the car, preparing the tyres for the 27-lap campaign, it is going to be an all-dry affair, so we should hopefully see some very, very fast racing. And I'm seeing quite a few medium tyres in this back 10. So we'll run through the grid just one more time. So Giza in his Emerald debut on pole position. Becky B, the championship leader, will line up alongside him. Then the second Williams car of Yama will line up in third. Sejos in fourth, ahead of his main championship rival BTFU. That fight for third place really starting to heat up. Angel in sixth, Zamis in seventh, Cosquito in eighth, Gabby in ninth, and Tom Hawk rounding out the top 10 in that racing point. And then we have Chiri for Haas as the first of the free tyre choosers. He will be in that second pole position, otherwise known as 11th place, starting on those soft compound tyres. Then we have Holtz and Gabox, the two Alfa Romeos in 12th and 13th respectively, on the mediums. So we're curious to see how those two go against not only Chiri, but Captain Minor as well behind them in 14th for the McLaren, well, reserving in that McLaren seat. He is also on the soft, and then the rest of the back 10 are on the mediums. We have Twinkie in 15th, Striphium in 16th, Polar in 17th, Gorzieg in 18th, B-Man in 19th, and then some idiot will be starting at the back of this grid. It looks like Chiri and Tom Hawk have had an issue, Stars.
Yeah, they certainly have. Got a little bit too close, just had a gentle tap, and unfortunately disqualified from the outlap there, so their tyres won't be in the optimal range here. But obviously, tyre strategies really quickly as the cars come around Parabolica to grid up. Obviously, the medium to softs is the quicker strategy. It's just whether or not the medium runners can stay within that 1 second of the soft runners, because otherwise, like I did mention, it'll be no man's land. And if Geezer and Becky B and Yama and Sejos and BTFU can pull away, it might not matter in terms of the alternative strategy.
Yes, DRS so important at a fast track like this. What it looks like, they are now lining up on the grid. That number 70 black Mercedes car ahead of that number 9 Williams car, the black against the white. But here we go. The light sequence is now starting. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights here at the Temple of Speed for the Americas division. It's lights out and away they go. Looks like it's been a pretty decent start from all these guys across the grid. Becky B trying to pull it to the inside. He is now ahead, side by side with the Mercedes drivers. They make their way down into turn 1. A little bit of a lock up there, but looks like Becky B will have the outside line through turn 2 and get so much better traction out of that corner. And it looks like he has gone through pretty well.
Casquito's lost it.
Casquito has lost it at the exit of the Retifilia chicane, but it looks like we have quite the tussle going on between Yama and Giza. Giza not off to the start that he was hoping for. We are now right on board with the McLaren of Sejos, who's currently in 4th place, as he is trying to make his way through it. Actually, Chiri with an amazing start, already up 5 positions. He's now up into 6th place from 11th on the grid, and those fresh softs are working like a treat. But he's already 2 seconds away from Angel, so these guys are going to really have to book it if they want to stay within that DRS and not risk getting separated from the rest of the grid. Another the biggest loser out of that one, aside from Casquito, is BTFU. He's all the way down into 11th place. So after that amazing qualifying session, he is effectively swapped with the Haas driver, Stars.
Yeah, he certainly has. We've got the Alfa Romeos coming to Parabolica side by side at the moment. Holtzman backs out there. They don't want to have any collisions like the Red Bull drivers do all the time here. So that's smart there by the Alfa Romeo boys. But we do have another exchange as well, as we did go 3 wide for 1 second. Tomahawk gets past Zamis there and now is on the back of Chiri. BTFU, like you did mention, shocking start. Lost all those positions, but we do have a couple of drivers going for a dive. Twinkie nearly centered on BTFU there, going into turn number 1, but some idiot isn't on his charge like he normally is. He's normally into the points by now, P15. So
someone who is on a charge, who is at least looking to be on a charge, is Zamis. He had a little look around the outside of the Curva Grande into the Rogia chicane, but can't really seem to find that move just yet. Looks like all these guys just staying line of stern, as is typical for this track. BTFU getting very close to the back of Captain Minor. He needs to make this move. He has a full battery, as it looks like Gorzieg has gone around at, well, between the two Lesmos, but BTFU side by side now with the McLaren as they make their way into the Ascari chicane. Looks like Captain Minor backs out of it. It is BTFU up back into the point.
He's going to get Gabby here.
And he's going to get Gabby here as well. Yes, you're absolutely right. We're now right back on board with the AlphaTauri, and he breezes past the, the sister team. But 1.1 seconds he needs to push to get back within that DRS range. As it is now, we are snouting lap 3. It looks like Gabby's in the pits.
Yeah, it looks like Gabby has had an issue there. Maybe lost a bit of front wing. So it's going to be a probably going on to the hards to the end of the race, I dare say.
Captain Minor getting very, very close to the back of BTFU once more. But for the leaders, it is Becky B who leads this race, swapping places with Giza at the start of things. Then we have Yama in third place. Sejos still holding position. And then we have Angel and Shiri. Shiri up 5 positions, but his teammate for this occasion, Samita, is up 7. So he might not be on the charge that we're used to seeing out of the head of the Pirates, but he certainly is a no slash. He's actually side by side now with Gabox going through the first Lesmo stars. Can the American find the way around the Alfa Romeo? Yes, he can. And it looks like Gabox actually might have a little bit of damage on that front wing. No, it's just the lighting playing tricks on my eyes. But Samiyet now through, and it looks like Holtz, he might actually be getting held up a little bit by his teammate here, as he goes very deep into Ascari. That's going to open the door for Striffium. Striffium right on the back of him, as they have a drag race now coming into Parabolica. He slots back into line, but both these cars are going to have DRS. Oh, actually, no, they're not. As Striffium sends it up the inside of Parabolica. You don't see that every day. A little bit of a wheel bang between the two drivers, but the two Canadians having a duel here at the Temple of Speed, and Striffium is going to get ahead of them for the time being, but does Holtz have an answer? Tom Hawk and Shiri having a little bit of an exchange. They make their way into the first chicane, but looks like Striffium has gotten that move done. So a very, very optimistic move, but it works out for the Ferrari driver, and he's now up into 14th place, but he dips the tire into the grass. That's not what you want to be doing, Striffium. 2 tenths is the gap. Holtz is going to have another look if he can, looking to the inside for the Rogier chicane. Does he dive it? No, much earlier on the brakes than Striffium. So Striffium gets away with it. 14th place.
He's going to miss out on DRS here. I think Mikasa now Holtz is probably going to come back at him going into the Ascari chicane. This battle, like I said, every week is so tight in this mid-pack. But some idiot is closing very, very quickly onto the back of Twinkie, as Twinkie's onto the back of Captain Minor. Captain Minor does not have DRS, has lost it to BTFU just up ahead, as BTFU we saw is making that charge all the way back through the grid. So this is going to be another battle we're going to have to keep an eye on board, as Samida is using all of his overtake at the moment going into Parabolic. Are we going to see a Striffium? No, he just decides to back out of that one and probably get a better run through Parabolica. As you can see, he's already done. He's already closing in the closing speed already. This is it. I dare say he's going to be making the move done, but these cars are going to be doing about 348 to 350 kilometers an hour.
Twinkie is pulling away at a rapid rate of knots. He's looking up the inside of Captain Minor. Locks the brakes. They're going side by side now. Some idiot looking for the switchback on the Renault. He'll have the outside line. They're now side by side as they make their way through the Curva Grande. Some idiot. He's going to try and get both of them here around the outside. Oh my goodness. And ladies and gentlemen, he isn't, well, an ex-tier 1 driver for nothing. Going easily through past both of those cars. What a move from the head of the Pirates up into the points. He is now 10th place with some clean air to try and catch back up with BTFU. Wow, what a move, Stars.
Yeah, what a move there by the reigning Tier 1 driver. Obviously, Twinkie had nowhere to go beyond Captain Minor, unfortunately, but that is racing, ladies and gentlemen, for you. But Paula is slowly catching to the back of B-Man. She's obviously losing a bit of time at the moment because B-Man's catching onto the back of Striffium, but now having to pull off the accelerator going into the Ascari chicane. Striffium gets very sideways as through the first part, and Paula, unfortunately, she's run very wide onto the gravel there, so now she's going to lose DRS going into or onto the main straight.
She doesn't have any wing damage, at least no visible wing damage, so I don't know what could have caused that amount of understeer, and that's actually cost her DRS. And she actually spins. She spins it at Parabolica, similar to where Magnussen was, in the previous season, and she is going to go straight into the pits and get that front wing change, as it's now broken, as B-Man Makes his way past Striffium. Striffium looking for a way back. B-Man defends it through the Retifilio chicane, and look at the exit that the Red Bull driver has gotten. So Striffium back down into 16th place. But at the front of things, not too much action is happening. Giza and Yama, as well as Cedros and Angel. These top 5.
The only action in the top 5 at the moment, Macau, is Giza's battery. It was sitting at 100% before he gave it a little squirt as they were coming down and up the hill into the Ascaro chicane. So he's using this DRS very nicely onto the back of Becky B, using Becky B as his toe, basically.
Gabox in 13th. He's gaining. He's getting very close to the back of this Renault. Twinkie runs a little bit wide into Ascari. Gabox doesn't have the best run either. So it saves Twinkie from an attack into Ascari. And we have the first penalty of the day, and that goes to the Ferrari of Striffium. 3 seconds.
We might have a positional change here, Macau. Gies is getting very close to the back of Becky B into the braking zone of turn number 1 here. He might be looking for a better exit, or he might just slot back in behind as he does. Becky B gets that's what I'm talking about at the start of the stream here, Macau. Traction zone out of turn number 2 is very hard. You saw it then and there, but Giza thinks second of it, and he will just hold his position for the meantime.
He does have about a 35% battery advantage. And Mercedes, he's lost it. He's lost it at the exit of Orogia chicane. And the Mercedes is falling down. He's going to have to wait for this entire train now to get back onto the circuit. And we have absolutely horrible camera angles of this.
Oh, and he just comes right back into Gabox. Gabox nearly loses it. So that's a unsafe rejoin there, I'm afraid. But his tyres are very hot at the moment. He's struggling to get through the first Lesmo, Macau. But yeah, commentator's curse. That's Giza's race. Unfortunately done and dusted for the fight for the win. So the the Williams boys 1 and 2 again.
Well, it might actually have cost Yama as well, because now Yama is out of that DRS range of his teammate, and that means that coming down this main straight, he is going to be under threat, not just from Cedros, but potentially Angel as well. We will now look at the, right on board with the McLaren driver, the American, with that overtake. DRS, slipstream, look at the speed, 348 kilometers an hour down the main straight to the racing line, and he is clean through on that Williams car, and just focusing on this exit. But it looks like they both have gotten pretty even exits. Anyama used the slipstream to find a way back past as Twinkie and Captain Minor having a little bit of an exchange into the first chicane, as is Holtz and Giza. A little bit of a wheel bang. Giza gets forced onto the gravel, but Holtz will make that move past. And it looks like Giza is really starting to get those tyres back under control. B-Man gaining a whole lot on this stricken Mercedes. And looks like Cedros actually really pushing hard to try and get back within that 1 second gap. 1.1 seconds is the gap. It's right on the cusp. Can he find the run he needs through Ascari? No, not quite, but it's dropping. It's dropping. He's using that overtake. And is he going to get it before the detection point? Yes, he has. So a very nice job there from the McLaren. He gets himself back within that 1 second gap, and if I'm not mistaken, he will have that rear wing open down the main straight. Yes, he will.
Yeah, he's used pretty much every last drop of his DRS, but he needed to get back in DRS. But the only thing is now he needs a perfect, clean run through Sector 1. He can't miss up anything because he's right on that cusp and he's got no ERS left, and he actually slides through Turn 1 as he takes too much curb, and he's lost a lot of time here, Macau. He's going to be burning all of it again. Oh, this is going to be tight again.
Giza trying to get back past the Holtzman. The Brazilian into Turn 1, locks up that front right, I should say, massively. But he gets the move done. Back up into 12th place. Does Holtz have an answer? Coming through the Curva Grande? No, not quite. He's a bit too far behind. The Cedros, he had that DRS for a split second, but now the gap's extending, and he's used all of those resources. Like we were saying in the pre-show, you can either lose DRS and try and get it back by forcing the car front into a mistake, or you're going to have to use a whole lot of resources to try and get back into it. Yama, a little bit of a slide there coming out of the Ascari chicane. Don't want to be doing that too many times. But Cedros, he's out of battery. He's now out of DRS. All these guys might actually be under threat from Angel. Angel just sitting it back saving his battery around 60%. He's going to use a little bit of the overtake, and CEST, he goes for that undercut.
That's a big undercut. Who else is under pressure at the moment? It's BTFU. Some idiot is closing in very, very quickly. He's using all of his overtake. He's going to get this move done very, very quickly. But BTFU has a lot of ERS in the bank, but I think he's going to let maybe some idiot go. Or is he going to fight it? No, he's going to let him go here. He's going to use him as his pull along, hopefully. He's got 84%, so could be a smart decision move there by BTFU.
Well, he's using some of the battery. He's actually slowly gaining on some idiot. We'll have to see what the two Haas cars do, because BTFU, he is gaining, but he's not getting enough. He's got to tap the rear of that Haas slightly. I don't think there's any damage. I didn't see anything fly off of that AlphaTauri. But you don't want to be doing that too many times, flirting with danger there. And some idiot right on the back of his teammate. Coming through the second Lesmo now. DRS overtakes Slipstream. Chiri not going to make that too hard as they make their way into Ascari. Some idiot cleanly through. Now it's BTFU to try and make a way back past, and Gabox as well making a move on Captain Minor down the back straight.
He just goes around the outside of Striffium here. Now he's got a bit of clean air. Be interesting to see if these leaders come in as a reaction to see Josh's early undercut.
Becky B does, but Yama and Angel, they stay out once more. So maybe Tom Hawk might come into the pits. Yes, Tom Hawk is coming into the pits. So we can see which cars are getting the preferential treatment. Some idiot now up into a podium place on those starting mediums. Twinkie up into 4th. But we'll see how these guys handle things. Angel doing well to stay within that 1 second.
CEST is going to get him, I think. CEST will go back-to-back ERS, or DRS are coming right down into turn number 1. They're side by side as Becky B comes out of the pit lane. Becky B goes for a later braking zone, and they're still side by side through turn 1 and through turn 2. Becky B with cold tyres actually gets really good traction out of turn 2, so he holds that position. So the undercut did not work for CEST.
Well, it might not have worked to get him for position, but it certainly has worked to get him back within that 1 second. So that could be huge. And now Becky B stuck behind B-Man. Battle of the Bees. Take that as you will. But it looks like Becky B, he's actually really closing on the back of B-Man. And if he can get B-Man between himself and CEST heading into the Ascari chicane, that might be the gap that he needs. CEST, he's too far back to really make a move. But it looks like Becky B makes his way past the Red Bull driver. And CEST, he needs to clear this Red Bull very, very quickly, as he is at risk of losing that 1 second that he's already tried to get. And I think he's lost it. I think he's already lost it as Yamo and Hanhel both into the pits. So somebody will take lead of this race.
Becky B's got DRS again on the back. Oh no, he doesn't for some reason. He was within 1 second, but anyway.
CEST has lost that DRS once again. And again, he's got no battery at all. There's a yellow flag. It looks like Gorzieg having a little bit of an issue at Ascari. I don't want to be seeing that one too many times. So Becky B now against Holtzman. 2 race winners now, making their way through the Curva Grande. He's gaining on the Alfa Romeo, but not enough to make a move into the Roger chicane. But you just see, look from the line and the grip on those fresh mediums. He's now right on the back of the Canadian. He might even make a move into the second Lesmo. No, he thinks better off it. But he has that DRS, and he's just going to soar past this Alfa Romeo. Becky B really in the driving seat today. Up the inside of the Alfa Romeo. Looks like Colts won't fight that one too hard. Becky B up into 4th place. Now CEST, it's now his turn to make his way past the Alfa Romeo to the outside. Becky B trying to give Colt a little bit of a slipstream to try and prevent CEST from getting back within that 1 second range. And it looks like he has done that yet again. So CEST going in and out of DRS. But as for the drivers behind him, Yama, he's out of that DRS range. B-Man has it, but he's only got 5% battery. It isn't going to be enough. Angel soars past the Red Bull, and he is going to gain massively on this Williams. Getting very, very close into turn 1. But he isn't able to find that move. Giza sets a new fastest lap of the race so far, 1 minute 21.626. We have quite a few cars making their way through the first chicane. Zamis trying to defend from Shiri. We'll have a quick look at the penalties on your screen now. All of them, 3 seconds. So no complications there, no quick maths that needs to be done. All of them, 3 seconds. No need for guesswork. Yama now right on the back of Holtz, and similar to his teammate, he's just going to breeze past that Alfa Romeo. Williams, driver the Mexican, up into 6th place now.
He's on the move at the moment. CEST, he's answering the calls by Becky B at the moment. I've just been watching this for a couple of laps. Becky B's trying everything he physically can, but CEST is still there, obviously. Very low on battery. It's the one place you don't really want to be low on battery is. But needless to say, he's answering the calls here. BTFU, he's lost a lot of time. Is in P number 15 at the moment, and has just picked up a 3-second time penalty as well. So the AlphaTauri driver not having the best of race, but Angel gets a move done on Holtz once more. So that's 2 positions in 2 laps for Angel. So he's also on the move.
Yes, Angel needs to do all he can to stay with Yama. Those two in a fierce battle on the track. CEST, 6/10 is now the gap between himself and Becky B after the first sector. He's up by 6 milliseconds on his best time. And he makes yet another half a tenth through the Rogier chicane. Could this be what McLaren are looking for? Could Becky B be under a little bit of a pressure?
Gabox is gone.
He's lost it at the exit of the second Lesbo, and that is a full safety car. So once again, safety car playing a massive role in things. I'm sure that some idiot and Twinkie, as well as all these guys that started on the medium compact tires, are going to pit in. But the question is, what tires do they go for? Because if they go onto the softs from here, it is going to be quite a struggle. They are going to need to manage that those softs are going to die at the end of the race.
Oh, you got to go softs, Mikhail. Simple as that. You have to. Oh, some idiot's got no choice. He's not going onto hards. He can manage the tires here, but this is going to put him right into the thick of things. He was supposed to be coming out about P10. I reckon he's going to be coming out a lot further up than that.
Becky B's going into the pit lane.
He has to. He has to, Mikhail, because he's going to lose too much time if he stays on the mediums compared to the softs. So, Angel's going to get mugged, I feel like.
Well, Angel, oh my god. That means somebody is out in second. Okay, well.
Yep. I think this was races done and dusted, Mikhail.
Well, we have a 1-3 now for the 2 racing points. Tom Hawk staying out there. We have a lot of drivers into the pit lane. A lot of them are actually pitting onto these softs. So that's the gamble that you have to go for. Looks like the Ferraris are going to be double stacking. Zamis puts on a fresh set of mediums.
Did he do this last week or the week prior and it just did not work for him? That's twice now this has happened with Zamis. I don't know what's going on. Maybe his engineers hate him or something, because I think this is a really bad decision going on to fresh mediums from here.
Looks like Striffia might be the #1 driver.
And Zamis
Ferrari. Yeah, I'm puzzled. I'm puzzled as to why you would pit and go onto medium compound tires. Gorziag and Pola now having their turns in the pit lane. So, as things stand right now, Angel is your race leader, but he does have a 3-second time penalty. And with this safety car, this DRS train being reformed, as it were, that is going to be big. That is going to be insanely big come the end of this race. But Angel in lead of things on track. Then we have some idiot, the head of the Pirates, I should say, Jack Sparrow, in the runner-up spot on fresh softs. He is going to be looking in a very, very nice spot to take this race win. Tom Hawk in the second racing point car, also on the slightly, well, scrubbed mediums. He's there in 3rd place. So a double racing point podium at the moment. Twinkie for Renault in 4th place, also taking advantage of that safety car. Chiri in 5th, and then Becky B in 6th with CEST behind him, Holtz behind him. Then B-Man and Yama will round out the top 10. And then Striffian with that 3-second time penalty in 11th, getting the preferential treatment at Ferrari. Giza in 12th place for Mercedes at the pole sitter. This might be the opportunity that he needs to really slingshot himself back up into the points on his MRL debut. see how the Brazilian is able to handle himself. BTFU now in 13th place for AlphaTauri. Not the best race for the AlphaTauri at their home race as well. Everyone talks about Ferrari, but it's also AlphaTauri's home race too. Well, at least the Toro Rosso, as it was formerly known as. Zamis on those fresh mediums. Still puzzled as to why he's on the mediums, but he's on those fresh mediums regardless. He is in 14th again with a reset time penalty. Captain Minor in the McLaren in 15th, and then Gavi in 16th for Red Bull. Cosquito in 17th, Gauzier in 18th, Paula in 19th, and Gavox unfortunately losing it at the exit of the second Lesmo, causing this safety car with that retirement. If you're new, welcome to the Misfits Racing League. My name is Mikhail. Joining me is Stars. We both hail from the great land down under. It is called Australia. Here for the Americas division around the Table of Speed for round number 15 of MRL season number 4. If you are enjoying the stream, do be sure to give us a quick follow, and we greatly appreciate your support. Say hi in the chat and !NLR to get a link to our partners Next Level Racing if you're looking to take your sim racing experience to the next level. And we will actually be giving away a FTE, well, I think it's the GT light rig in the event, the Misfits Grand Championship, which is Yoda's brainchild, trying to get the fastest drivers possible with a monetary prize pool for once. So if you're interested in getting more details and signing up for that event, !event in the chat, and all of our lovely viewers will have, for that event, will have the chance to win one of those GT light rigs. But Stars, lap 17 of 27, 10 laps of green flag running, as Paula just makes her way to the back of the safety car queue. If you're Angel, if you are Tom Hawk, if you are any of these medium runners, so that's Angel, Tom Hawk, Cherry, and by extension Zamus down there in 14th, what is going through your mind right now? What do you need to do as a driver in that cockpit to really give yourself the best chance of not getting absolutely mugged by these soft runners?
Mikaz, you know I'm an optimist, but I'm thinking if I was in their position, I'd be a bit of a pessimist because they have got no chance or whatsoever. Angel is going to have to get his elbows out completely and not let some idiot pass at all. And I'm talking for 10 laps. If some idiot gets past, it's over. They've got no chance in getting back. They'll lose DRS and it'll be gone like that. So I think they're going to have to probably work together. Maybe Tom Hawk goes for a dive into turn 1. They work together off a safety car restart. They're going to have to come up with something, because if they let these soft runners through, as we can see the safety car is in at the end of this lap, they're just going to be falling back down the grid. Obviously Becky B is going to be wanting to move up as well. See Joss, these drivers behind, even Holtzman in P8, we saw what happened with him when he got onto the right tyre choice. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be a tough ask for these drivers.
Well, Angel becoming the de facto safety car, slowing things down as they make their way into Parabolica.
I'd go right to the line and tell Tom Hawk the second I'm about to go, because he needs to jump some idiot into turn 1.
Yes, two cars are certainly better than one. The safety car now is in the pit lane. It's all on Angel when he wants to go. He's holding, he's still holding, and he's gone just before the line. Has he caught some idiot napping? He has a little bit, but not by enough. And we have a yellow flag still there. A few illegal overtakes, it would seem. But this race is back underway. Green flag running once again at Twinkie, looking up the inside of Chiri. Into turn 1, it looks like. These guys staying line astern, and they have a yellow flag set to one. Looks like one of the Red Bulls is around. It is B-Man in the runoff there. But it looks like some idiot 1/10 between himself and Angel. So this safety car restart, he's held off the Haas driver for now, but it's not going to be enough, I feel. Sejos getting past. There's now a yellow flag. There's a massive carnage.
Huge.
The second chicane. What
Both
on
Ferraris.
earth is that? Both Ferraris with damage in the gravel. I'm surprised that isn't even a virtual safety car. Some idiot now making his way up the inside into the Ascari chicane, and he's going to get that move easily done. And there we go. That's a safety car.
Wow. There must have been too much debris on the circuit there. I'm pretty sure both rows lost wings there. B-Man was caught up in it as well. I think BTFU actually got hit a little bit as well. Pooler made up a couple positions. That was insanely big. There's about 8 cars involved, I do believe, Mikhail.
Yeah, we got a little glimpse of it on stream, and it looked like a massive, massive accident. But we'll see what these guys are able to do with the safety car. But unfortunately for Angel, he couldn't hold off some idiot. If he held off some idiot into the Ascari chicane and then this safety car was called, he has yet another chance to break away. But now some idiot, he's in the driving seat. And now it's Twinkie with it all to do in, in 4th place with the 2 racing points ahead of them. And a lot of action in the pit lane, as you can see. The Mercedes needing to double stack. The Ferraris needing to double stack as well. And that means that Giza, you're familiar with this, Stars, he's getting blocked in the pit lane by the 2 Ferraris. So these 2 Mercedes cars are going to be right at the back of things. And Giza is certainly not going to be happy with that one. Paula jumps up into 14th as a result. Cheery in 16th on those soft compound tyres.
Good news here, Mikhail. Zamis has fitted the correct set of tyres. So he'll be going to the end of the race on the soft compound.
Well, that's good to see. Hate it when that happens. And it looks like they're just starting to form up. Have first to 12 back on this safety car queue. Just waiting for all of the pitters to make their way back. That was a very late call for the safety car. If that call had come even like 3-4 seconds earlier, Angel would still be in lead of things on this restart and would have another opportunity, but he doesn't. Some idiot looking like he's in a very, very good spot to yet again complete the last of first challenge here in this America's Grid.
Certainly, he's chosen the correct strategy again. Obviously, it worked out quite lucky for him as well. But I want to just get back onto these racing points here, Mikhail. So Angel, right, currently second, got a 3-second time penalty. Tom Hawk, third, no time penalty. Now, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th don't have penalties as well. So if I was the team player, which obviously you know I am, being your number 2 driver, I would get Angel to let Tom Hawk through, try and get Tom Hawk into DRS for at least a lap with some idiot, which is going to be insanely difficult, which he probably won't do, but then Angel can hold up everybody else behind, be the biggest bus in the world, and let Tom Hawk run for it and try and get Tom Hawk on the podium.
That certainly would be quite a tough ask, considering that everyone behind him is still on those relatively new soft compound tyres. We already had a few laps on the safety car, and with the second safety car, those soft tyres are definitely going to easily make it to the end of the race, and they're going to feel good doing it as well. So things aren't looking too bright for the 2 racing points, but they have got that track position, and overtaking can be difficult once the DRS is enabled and once those trains really start to form. It's all about the wings and the exits that you can get out of the traction or the major traction zones. So these racing points do have a chance to get some serious points. Angel maybe not as much with that 3-second time penalty, but BTFU, Captain Miner and Cosquito all in the top 10 with those penalties as well. We'll actually have a quick look and see if there are any deviations from it. No, all of the drivers have 3 seconds, and that is a very quick safety car as it is now coming in at the end of this lap. So some idiot, Cody, will have to pace the field. He is the de facto safety car as we'll look to get things back underway at the start of lap 21, Stars.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be running away. He's heating up the tyres at the moment, just waiting till that safety car gets into the pit lane, and then I think he'll just go. He doesn't need to go all the way up to the line like the racing points needed to, but as you can see, everyone slows up very closely at the moment. Everyone's getting ready. We're waiting for the jump. You can see how some idiots could take a very wide approach at the moment here, and there he is. He's gone. Overtake on, and he has gapped Angel at the moment. He's got about a 4/10 lead at the moment. Gorziag actually lost a lot of time right at the back of the field here at the moment, but we do have some people all over the back of each other. Becky B into turn number 1 goes for a dive.
A massive dive!
He goes up 1, he goes up 2, but it actually hits Tom Hawk and actually cuts a lot of turn number 1 as well, as we see CEST got a 3-second time penalty as well, so maybe he has actually picked up some wing damage with Becky B, which is going to cost him. But now CEST and Yama's coming off the back of CEST at the moment, going into turn number 4, just past the Curva Grande, and he goes for the dive into turn number 4, side by side currently for both drivers, but CEST manages to hold out just for the time being.
A little bit of a tap there. We'll see how things are going down further down the grid. Looks like Giza has damaged yet again, riding on board with the Haas car of Chiri. But they make it through the Rogier chicane all nicely this time around. Becky B now. Tom Hawk under threat from the Williams behind him. Tom Hawk going defensive into the corner. And they both pick up time penalties. The time penalties. Yama as well.
Twinkie gets a podium.
Oh, was it Red Bull off? Was Red Bull off? That's Gabby.
That's Gabby. The reserve driver, the Brazilian. Gabby is pretty much done and dusted. His car is not in a good state at the moment, so he'll be coming back onto the track, probably having to come into the pits, but we do have a couple of exchanges. Striffham gets past Captain Miner going into Parabolica once again. That's twice he's done that now. And now he's all over the back of Holtz. Holtz is all over the back of B-Man. And BTFU is closing on the back of Yama. There's so much action going on this grid, I can't even decide who to look at, as Becky B goes for another send into the side pod again of Tomahawk as they come out of turn number 2, but Becky B this time gets the move done.
Holtz with that slipstream is going to get through now. The two Ferraris are going to have a little bit of an exchange. Looks like Striffian pulling over for his teammate Zamas, so we now definitely know what the team dynamics are at the Scuderia. Zamas now past his teammate. Holtz past B-Man for that final point position. Looks like BTFU and Casquito. Casquito's in the gravel. Casquito's in the gravel. And there's contact there between himself and Paula.
Oh. Chiri just comes right back onto the track of Casquito and nearly causes another accident as well.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see. But it looks like CEST trying to find a way past Twinkie, that Renault driver. The racing point of Tom Hawk really starting to hold up these guys. We'll see what these guys are able to do coming down the back, well, the second back straight into Parabolica. Twinkie really gaining on the racing point. CEST is trying to find a way around this yellow flag. Looks like Casquito has lost it at the exit of the Sky. Some idiot with the fastest lap so far this race, a 1 minute 21.1. The Twinkie very, very close as DRS gets rear now with a lap 23 of 27. 5 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen. Twinkie, he switches to the inside. The door's closing. There's contact there.
CEST goes right up the inside. Twinkie is out of it currently. He's just come back into the and actually come into the path of Holtzman. Holtzman has cleaned him up and actually picked up wing damage as well.
Oh my goodness.
So Twinkie's gone from a P2 to probably some under investigation as well.
Well, Tom Hawk making his way down the inside into the Rogier chicane, and he gets that move done on Holtzman. Those mediums still having a little bit of life left in them. But these gaps are super, super tight for this final points play. Zamas picks up a penalty now. The 3-second time penalty is really starting to come into play. DRS now open for all these drivers. Zamas, can he find a way past Holtz? His speed is about even, and this is what happens in that DRS train. Can't seem to find a way past at the moment. But he's really gaining. Runs a little bit wide. That certainly would be a warning for not only Zamas but Holtz as well. Casquito retires in the pit lane. Unfortunate to see him go. Zamas up the inside. They both of them have damage. Holtz on the right, Zamas on the left. And it looks like Gorzieg losing a place to Chiri as well. But
Striffium's trying to get the toe of Zamas with the DRS as well. Actually, Zamas is going to block him. Zamas has got the Ferraris are working together at the moment. Blocks Holtz. Holtz has got nowhere to go, so it looks like the Ferraris are going to... Actually, Striffim goes for a dive on his teammate here. No more team orders, maybe, Mikau.
Yes, he tries to find the move, but he doesn't quite complete it. Zamas able to keep that points position. That might have compromised Striffium just a little bit. Holtz maybe trying to have a look around which way is he going to go. He's just going to back out of that move into the Rogier chicane.
Especially with that no M plate on the right hand side for Holtz after the collision with Twinkie.
Yeah, it's definitely not what you want to see.
Look at the spread though, Mikau, between the top 4. CEST is trying to get back into DRS with Becky B, but he was about 1.6 seconds behind at the start of this lap, so he's pushing as hard as he can.
And And these guys have a 3-second gap to Twinkie behind. So Twinkie needs to get a move on if he wants to jump even BTFU at this point. We'll have a quick look at the penalties, see if they've updated. So Zamis actually the only driver with 6 seconds at the moment. Everyone else with that black and white flag on the timing tower with a 3-second time penalty at the moment. We'll see what's happening as they make their way through Parabolica. Yama, 1 minute 21.019, the fastest lap so far of this race, using that DRS to good effect. 5 tenths between himself and Sejos, closing right up to the back. Sejos maybe cutting a bit too much of that first corner. That isn't quite happening there. Zamis very close to the back of Tom Hawk. Those mediums are starting to wear out quite significantly at this point. Uses some of that ERS. Do you see the red light flashing off the racing point? Does he have the slipstream? Does he have the straight line speed that he needs? As Giza, the first car into the 1 minute 19s. 1 minute 19.8 for the Mercedes driver down in 17th. But Zamis can't find the way past just yet. And I must say, he's doing really well with that wing damage, all things considering. Can he make the move into Ascari Stars?
He's all over the back of him at the moment. It's going to be interesting to see. He's closing in. He's closing in. He's going to get the move done, I think, into Ascari at the moment. So, like, you don't normally see too many positions there. But, yeah, it's the... gets through, and now Striffium has actually had a really good run with Tom Hawkins. It's terrible. Now Striffium has got the move done as well on the past Tom Hawk. So we've got both Ferraris in the points.
At least on track. We'll see how things pan out after the penalties. Striffium maybe trying to just stick with Zamis, his teammate, as much as he can. He's actually using that overtake. He's gaining. He's gaining on his teammate, Stars. DRS. Is he going to go for a move? I don't think it would be wise. But he's going to go for it. He's going for it. He's gone too deep. He's gone too deep, and that's lost him a points position. He's lost the rear end now, again coming out of it, and he's lost the DRS now. That was not what he needed.
No, it wasn't at all. He's cost himself P10. He was going to pull away because Holtz didn't have DRS, and they were going to work together, and now he's in a position where he will not be collecting points today.
Like
he was on for points.
He was indeed. Looks like, but he's actually getting back past Tom Hawk. Not quite. We missed that one on the stream. Not quite sure how that one happened. We were looking at Gorziek, who had spun at the exit of the Retifilio chicane, heading into Curva Grande. A very weird place to lose it, especially as far along as he did. But Striffium,
the only way Striff's going to get points is if Zamis backs out of it and gets him back in DRS. It's going to be the only possible way. If Zamis lets him back in DRS, there's a chance. There's a chance.
There is a chance, very slim at that. But we'll see how these front runners are going. Some idiot currently 5 seconds ahead. They're really taking control of this race. But Sejos, he's gaining on Becky B. He has the overspeed, but is it enough? No, not quite. He isn't going to go for a massive dive like we saw Striffium do the lap prior. But he gets a pretty decent exit. He's really keeping Becky B honest here. They all have 3-second time penalties, so this is still for track position. This is for position on circuit. Cherry getting past Holtz into the Retifilio chicane. Striffium and Tom Hawk. Striffium's around! Striffium's around at Curva Grande. They exit Retifilio. Dear. And oh my goodness, that is a portion of that front wing missing. Gorzieg retiring in the pit lane. He's had enough of it. And Striffium, man, oh man, he can't seem to catch a break, and it's the last lap as well. I only just realized that. Last lap as well. Zamis, another 3 seconds. So he is well and truly going to be out of the points. Can
Holtz might be able to sneak on to another point here. His first point apart from the win.
Yes, we'll see what he's able to do. But Sejos, he's trying to find a way past Becky B into Parabolica. It isn't going to be enough, but some idiot will complete the last of first challenge yet again. Arnhill will collect second place with those medium compound tyres. And it looks like Becky B will round out the podium. Sejos in fourth, Yama in fifth, BTFU in sixth, Twinkie in seventh, B-Man in eighth, Zamis in ninth on track. But has he done enough to secure a point? No, he has not. And it looks like Holtz
gets the point.
Holtz will take a single point. His only points since his Hungary win. And yeah, besides his Hungary win, the only point he's actually gotten all season. So very, very nice job there and he will round out the top 10 finishes. Tom Hawk in 11th, just missing out there. Very, very unfortunate, but man, oh man, Stryfium, that one mistake cost him the points, and then he sealed the deal with a spin at the exit of the first chicane. For some idiot, the last of first challenge has been completed yet again for the Haas driver. Honestly, don't know. I mean, he got pretty lucky with that safety car.
He did indeed.
You have to be in it to win it, and he sees the opportunity. And it looks like, I believe we have 2 Americans and a Mexican all on the podium. So congratulations to all these podium finishers. We'll get interviews with hopefully at least 2 of them in a moment's time. I don't know if Angel usually comes into the interview room, but there we go. So some idiot from last to first. He will take the race win, taking the full 25 points away from the full-time drivers as head of the Pirates. Angel holding on to that second place. A very, very nice job from the Mexican on those aging medium tires, and Becky B will round out the podium. The front row starter has to settle for 3rd place. C-Joss in 4th place. A very, very solid driver yet again from McLaren. It starts 4th, stays in 4th place, ahead of Yama, the second Williams car, who will finish in 5th place. BTFU 6th place after what was a pretty awful start. Can't complain too much about that one. He will take home some decent points for the AlphaTauris. Twinkie in 7th for Renault. B-Man from 19th to 8th to score some points for the Pirates as well. Very nicely done from him. Cheery in 9th place from 11th. And Holt will take the final point in this race. Then we have Tom Hawk, Gabby, Zamis, Paula, Stryfium, Giza, Captain Minor, Gorzieg. And then we have Casquito and Gabox unable to finish this race. But Stars, give us a rundown of what was a crazy, crazy America's Monza, well, America's Italian Grand Prix, I should say.
Yeah, once again, Mikhail, America's never disappoints. I mean, fortunately for some idiot safety car at the opportune time, unfortunately for the stream, it would have been great to see him try and come back through the field on the softer compound and maybe had a battle there with Becky B at the end. That's what it was looking like it was going to be. But still, yeah, unfortunately about Stryfium there once again. Some other drivers which came back, BTFU, during that race, had a shocking start, probably one of the worst starts he's had all season, and he's come back, and I think he picked up a P5 or a P6. So that's good for the AlphaTauri driver. So once again, like I said, they never disappoint. It was great battling on track. Obviously, it's very hard to pass around Italy, but we did see some good moves in some unorthodox places as well.
Well, we'll now head into the interviews, and we will be joined by the championship leader first, the 3rd place finisher for this Italian GP. It is, of course, Becky B. Becky B, how are you feeling after that one? 3rd place, not quite the top step after Cody took full advantage of that safety car. But how are you feeling after that race? How are you feeling? Just how things have gone this evening.
Not feeling too bad. Glad to finally be back on the podium. Yeah, Cody definitely got a big advantage there with the safety car, but I'm just glad, finally get back on the podium and gain some points to my rivals. So
yes, it has been quite a rough few races. I want to ask a question about the decision to pit for the softs under the safety car, because I'll be honest, mate, I was a little bit questionable. I was doubting you a little bit on that one, giving up the track position, and I know how hard it can be to pass at Monza, but you certainly seem to make it work. Just how was that? I know, how did that decision come around, and how was it on that first safety car restart, just trying to make up as many positions as possible?
Yeah, it was kind of a roll of the dice at that point. I think in hindsight, I definitely should have stayed out, with the track position, but I can't really change my decision. I'm happy with it. I got a little bit of damage on the restart, which definitely cost me being able to catch Angel, but other than that, I think it was all right. Little fun having to do some overtaking, but definitely wish I would have stayed out for the track position. But all in all, I think it was a pretty good result.
Now, looking forward, as we'll end things off, looking forward to Singapore now. I do believe it's a track that really does suit you. If I'm remembering correctly. How are you feeling going into Singapore and Russia in the next 2 weeks, Becky?
I'm definitely looking forward to it. Singapore is definitely one of my best tracks. Up there, with Monaco and stuff. I love those kind of street circuits and stuff like that. So definitely looking forward to it. And I think Russia's a pretty solid one for me too. Especially tonight with Italy not being one of my better tracks. I'm definitely happy with the podium, and hopefully you can get back on the top step next week.
Yes, most certainly. It's calling your name there, Becky. Well, congratulations on the podium finish nonetheless, and we wish you all the best for Singapore next week.
Yeah, appreciate it. Have a good night, guys.
So now we will be joined by Mr. Jack Sparrow. Mate, last to first yet again. Got really, really, that safety car came out at the perfect time for you. Just how was that starting from the back and making your way through the field? Because you did make quite a lot of overtakes. I remember one of them was like a double overtake around the outside of the Curva Grande, and that one was absolutely stellar. So how are you feeling after yet another stellar race?
I wasn't even expecting to drive tonight, to be honest with you, too. But I mean, P20 always, at the back at Monza is always interesting because turn one, of course, just trying to get through there in one piece. And yeah, I mean that safety car, like I said, that was pretty lucky for me. I mean, I think I even said during the race when I was in voice call with some people, I just said sometimes it's better to be lucky than it is to be good, and I think today was just a bit of luck right there. I'm not sure if I would have caught my way to the top five without that safety car, but who knows? That's an alternate universe that we'll never see, I guess. But yeah, I mean that was fun. That was fun. Got a chance to do some overtakes. That into Curva Grande, I was just trying to line up how to catch the McLaren, and I kind of actually boxed in Twinkie a little bit there because I kind of tried to use the momentum I had and just kind of literally form a box. But yeah, that was really fun. That was really fun. So thankful to have a chance to do this.
Stars, any questions for our race winner here this evening?
No, none from me. Well done again. Somebody obviously last the first. Obviously you do that most weeks, so congratulations. And yeah, I mean, I'm sure these American tier drivers are hoping not to see you again.
Oh, no. That's well. We'll see. We'll see when the next time I can drive. Like I'd love to do Mexico. That would be one I'd like to circle on the calendar, so to say. But yeah, I mean, that was fun. That was fun. So thankful to get to do this. Thank you guys for having me.
Well, congratulations on the race win once again, and we'll let you now go celebrate with the rest of the guys here in the Discord.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, mate.
Well, that about wraps up the interviews. Unfortunately, Angel not available for one. So before we close out the stream, Stars, any closing remarks before you raid a lovely member of the F1 community?
Just how good the race was once again. Thank you everyone for coming out and supporting MRL. Thank you for getting involved in the chat there. It was a very, very quick race. Obviously, we saw a little bit of action, but can't wait to see you guys again next week.
Yes, yes. Thank you for tuning into the race. We hope you enjoyed it. There was certainly a lot of action there on the track, and it's nice to see a dry campaign after the full wet campaign. That was the Tier 3 race, which will be available on our YouTube channel, well, hopefully within the next day or so, if you want to catch that one. Just a few things from me. Once again, a massive shout out to our partners, Next Level Racing, !NLR in the chat, or you can click on the link in the panels below if you're looking for any kind of sim rig, motion rig. You know, they've got some flight sim stuff as well. So anything that you're looking of that nature, Next Level Racing is the place to be if you want to take your sim racing experience to the next level. So, and we thank them for helping us grow the sim racer community, and be sure to get informed on the event that will be going on, the Misfits Grand Championship, where all of you lovely viewers will have the chance to win a Next Level Racing rig. I believe it's the GT Light rig in this one. So !event and !Discord. Be sure to join the Discord to get the details as soon as they're announced. And we should have more details on the giveaway in the coming weeks. But that is all from us here this evening. Stars and I have thoroughly enjoyed walking you through this America's race. And be sure to join these stream with Stryfium and Unicorn tomorrow at 8 p.m. British Summer Time. That is 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And for what will hopefully be yet another exciting Italian Grand Prix. Well, that's it from us. We will be back next week for the Americans race around Singapore, but Unicorn and Stryfium, like I said before, will be back with Tier 2 tomorrow. Thank you again, and we will see you in the next stream.
See you guys.